Hari Om. Let us contemplate on some of the questions that we have. Yes, Deepaji, can you please state the question?
This was on September 5th, sir. There was a quote from Sri Prabhuji, and it was about the Samadhi, where it was said, sleep is a state of unconscious Samadhi, while Samadhi is a state of conscious sleep. Yeah, I agree. Sleep in the sleep we will be unconscious, but I have a question about Samadhi. Conscious sleep is what is mentioned in this message, what is called as Samadhi. Does it mean that even though we are sleeping, we'll be conscious enough to know what is going on outside?
Yeah, good question. Any perspectives that Saranji, Shubhaji, you would like to share first?
So when we say conscious, Samadhi, where it says conscious sleep, so the usual sleep is we like one has no awareness of what's going on, right? While the conscious sleep here, it means it's like the meditation. Yeah, Samadhi is again leading towards meditation, where like we are consciously sitting and tuned out of the rest, right? In some ways I can say that like I'm in sleep when it comes to the outside occurrences, right? So I'm in that blissful state where the outside things are not affecting me. So in the Samadhi also, like it's not that conscious to the outside world. This is my point. Yeah, what is going on? But there can be the Sahaja Samadhi state, is that natural state where like one is involved in the interaction in the society, while he is established in the state of truth. He knows he knows the real nature, and he said that he's not disturbed. Right, so that's how
You see, okay.
Explanation. Yeah.
Thank you. Shubhaji, is there something that you would like to share?
As far as I understood this, self is beyond all these three states of waking, dream, and deep sleep state. So self is nothing but the consciousness. So conscious is beyond all these three states. So that is what Prabhuji was pointing at when he said that statement. That's what I understood.
Okay, wonderful. So, Deepaji, when we talk about sleep, especially deep sleep, the association that we have with deep sleep is a deep relaxation, a period where there is nothing that really affects us, where there is total rest, total peace. So that is what we refer as deep sleep. And that is here referred as unconscious samadhi. Why it is unconscious samadhi? It is actually your truthful state. Meaning what? Meaning that is what you are, that is how you are in all different situations of life. However, it is unconscious because recognition hasn't yet happened. That is why I make a statement, I had a blissful sleep. as if I'm someone who's going into sleep, coming out of sleep. So that is the nature of wrong understanding, where I've not yet realized that I am not actually sleeping. So that is why it is referred as the unconscious samadhi. Because what is samadhi? Samadhi means where the intellect is in a total equilibrium, equanimous state. When is our mind? When is that you feel at peace? When there is no disturbance. So, as an example, deep sleep. As another example, as an imagination, let's say you're simply sitting in front of some, say, ocean. And, right now you have no mobile, nothing, no one to come and bother you. You simply are being there with the waves that are coming and going, coming and going. So let's also assume that, your mind is just one with the movement there. There is nothing else that is arising within your mind as a thought. Then also you say, oh, I had a very nice time. I totally was at peace, at rest. Here also, it is in a way that rest is unconscious rest. Why? The recognition hasn't yet come that that is my true state all the time. I'm still associating these periods of rest with something that I have to do, then I get kind of a thinking is still there. That is why, oh, I went into sleep. Oh, I went to the ocean and I had a nice time. I went to the forest, I had a good time. Like that, we make that statement. So when recognition happens, what recognition? That I am the very source of that peace. Peace is who I am. When that recognition happens, then that is a conscious samadhi. Doesn't necessarily mean only during waking, only during sleeping, only during deep sleep, because these, what we call as the three states, sleep, dream, and the waking, they are actually impermanent, coming and going aspects. They are not who I am. Those are not happening to me. Those are simply the changes appearing and disappearing in me. So this recognition now brings the conscious samadhi. Does not mean you are no more engaging with the world. It simply means that you are at peace because you are the very source of the peace. So therefore, doesn't matter what you are engaged with. Doesn't matter what you are doing or not doing. You are at peace. A conscious samadhi. Turiya. What we refer as the fourth state. Turiya. You have recognized your very nature as the Turiya. I am that. And that is the point that Prabhuji is giving there.
I had a doubt because in the Art of Living course, they made us meditate, sir. And during that process, most of the people, including me, went into a sleep where I was knowing what was going on there outside. And I was at peace and I was not willing to wake up when they asked us to open our eyes. Was that a samadhi? Is what is my question.
Sure.
And it didn't just happen with me. Most of them, they took a long time to open their eyes. So
Sure.
I felt I must have been in sleep at that time, because they made us do a few exercises, then pranayams before meditating. Sir. So I felt I must have been very tired, and that's the reason I went into sleep.
However,
But
you are also saying
yeah,
that you are completely conscious of what was happening, correct?
yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. So this is not like, your regular night sleep where you're unconscious, correct?
Yeah,
It's as if I'm awake, but
yes,
whatever is happening is okay. And it doesn't seem to be affecting me. There's a sense of very clear separation. I
yeah,
am there and the world is going on, correct?
yeah,
Yeah. Which is actually the case even now. Even now, as you are speaking, you are simply there, and the so-called world is simply appearing and disappearing in you, even now. What makes a
yes,
difference? What makes a difference? The difference is my own sense of attachment. I am now in the conversation. I have to now understand. I have to now listen. I have to now ask the next thing. So there is an active participation. So
yeah,
the Sakshi is who you are even now, even when you're participating. But there is a mistaken recognition that I am the participant who is asking the questions. I am the one who is involved in all this conversation. But what is the reality? You are the witness, and the identity called student is appearing, asking the question, getting involved with the conversation, and is disappearing. So you are the very presence in whose light all this change is happening. So what happened as an experience has given you glimpse into what that conscious samadhi, or what is your true nature. It has given a glimpse to your true nature. Because there are simple practices through which you can arrive at that state. Unless the jnana is there, it now becomes oh, I did something, so it came. Now I have to do something to make it permanent. That logic sets in the mind. Why? Because the jnana that I am that, not just then when I was doing that exercise. It is a state that I have to experience, is where the mistake is. I have to experience a state means again and again it's something that comes and goes. It is no more a reality. It is an experience. Nice, wonderful, and life-altering experience. Very important. But because of the wrong recognition, it may set in a logic that, oh, it is something that I have to get. I have to do something to keep getting. And that is the value of the jnana, where jnana corrects that. It helps you and me to simply understand and know and recognize that that is who I am all the time. So, is this bringing clarity?
yes, sir. It
So,
was
what
just a
happened is
glimpse.
extremely valuable. What happened is extremely valuable, very nice. And the reason why you may not have been, wishing or wanting to open the eyes is it is such a blissful state. Many a times, even when you are asleep, you say, no, let me just sleep for some more time. But I wouldn't refer that state as a sleeping state, because you are saying you are aware of all the changes that were happening. But something was detached. It was as if there was a separation between what was happening and you. You were simply there, and so many sounds and so many things were happening around you. That is a state of a conscious samadhi. Because you are in complete tranquility, bliss. Sorry, Sarunji, you were saying
Yeah,
something.
can I say she was in the witness state?
Yeah.
This is,
But it is a state because if the right clarity is not there, it continues to be a state. Oh, when I breathe and breathe out like that, it happens like that. Yeah. So it kicks in that thinking. Any other viewpoints, Deepaji? Or
No,
questions?
sir. No, sir.
Wonderful. Any other questions other than this?
yeah, maybe I'll bring this in this Shakti Darshana talk. Guruji talks about prana and breath as two different things. I was trying to understand because I was thinking prana is the life energy, life force.
Through breath you get prana. Through water also you get prana. Through food also you get prana. So prana is life energy, which makes everything happen. Breath is one of the mechanism of prana. See, you are walking in hot sun. You come, you take cold water and you apply it to your face and everything. Suddenly you feel revived. So something from that water came into you, to your body. So what came into your body is prana. That life energy from water came into your body. Or, when you go to buy vegetables, you say, okay, I want fresh vegetables. There's something called as a freshness that is very intuitively known to you and me.
But breathing is must, right?
Breathing is
for the
must.
body to be alive.
That is the design of this mechanism. So which means that it is designed to get prana shakti from the breathing mechanism.
Can I say only?
Not only, because from water also you get prana shakti.
But but that doesn't mean one can remain, one can not breathe and still get prana.
That is true. That is just the way this mechanism is designed. So what it is essentially saying is the breath mechanism is the primary mechanism of prana shakti circulation in this mechanism called body. But for you, prana is coming from multiple sources.
Yeah, so that's where the thing is. So if prana is coming from multiple sources, can one survive without breathing?
No, again, the question is framed in such a way, the way you're framing, it's as if prana is breath, which is where why you're framing the question.
Yeah.
No, breath is one of the mechanism of prana. Much like water, it is not at all to say that this body can get prana only from water and you can close your nose. No, that is not what is meant. A fish is designed to receive prana from water. A fish doesn't have to breathe in the so-called outside air, but it still gets the prana from water. And that is how its body is designed. It is continuously getting prana from the water surrounding it. So something in that is coming into this fish.
Okay, some bodies are designed to get prana from water only, without breathing.
Correct. And this body is
Body-
designed only for breathing in, getting the prana from the air.
Continuously.
Yeah. Of course, you can change the rhythm of it, nature of it through various pranayama practices. But the fundamental reality is, yes, without that breath, after a few minutes, this body mechanism cannot survive.
And for a normal human, the energy from prana alone is also not enough. It moves to food next, water. And then like someone needs food. Also, looks like there are 3 stages. Like someone who is doing tapas, what we call, that person is able to remain without food and water, only breathing maybe.
For a much longer time. That is
For a
correct.
much longer time.
Correct.
Right?
It is only a time duration that changes between the practitioner and a non-practitioner. You are correct. That's the hierarchy. In
There are
this
3
this
levels.
particular mechanism needs breath. Then as a next step, water. Then as a next step, solid food. And that is why we keep saying whatever you and I eat most often is not really food with prana. That is the more important. You and I are simply eating dead food.
The packaged foods which are tastier.
Yeah. Not just packaged, even the so-called homemade food, no?
Foods.
In the homemade food also, what is that we are doing? We take a vegetable, boil it. So when you boil, what is happening is prana is going away from that. See,
but it still gives the energy, right? That like you feel, if you don't eat, you feel tired, or like you feel down. Maybe I don't know if it is state of mind, or and you eat food, let's say a full meal, and like you feel good. Is it full mental thing only?
No, it is not. It is a mental thing only. Yes, something is definitely getting transferred from
The
that.
calories, what we call calorie in science, if you take it, then they don't care what you eat, how you eat. Finally, it's down to calories, sugar, and then calories.
Correct. So what is happening there is, again, it is, see, there is a very fundamental question if you and I ask, what is energy? What is fundamentally energy? If you observe closely and if you try to define energy closely, it's extremely difficult to define energy. You and I can say, oh, energy is the
Power
ability
to move something. Power to move something.
To do something. So we are defining it in terms of it is something that helps us to do something, right? But the question is, what is energy? Okay, so it is helping to do something is a separate thing. But that's the closest you and I can get to define energy.
Correct.
Right? So it's like, what is awareness is very difficult to really define.
Very true, actually.
But in terms of various changes, you can define, right? So awareness is that consciousness which is witnessing everything. Okay, but what is? So the is question becomes extremely impossible to answer with respect to these fundamental realities. What is energy? So what you and I can simply say, it is there. It is there. That's why we call it as isness. Asti. Asti. Astitva. Existence. It is there. But it is impossible to define it in the human language.
Yeah, I didn't realize till now actually. Yeah. What is it made of? You cannot say, right?
You cannot answer that because everything else is made of energy. Energy itself is not made of something. And which means that it must be some kind of a fundamental reality. Which means that, like how you say awareness is a fundamental reality. And there are now, if you come from the energy viewpoint or from the consciousness viewpoint, now you arrive at so-called two fundamental realities, consciousness and energy. Shiva and Shakti. And now you have another important question. Are they two separate things? No way to answer. No way to answer. But the only reality is they both seem to be there. So without the movement of the Shakti, you cannot even know that consciousness is there. Because only when movement is there,
that energy is there, it keeps me alive to be aware. Can I say that?
Right. So the
That
quality
means
of awareness,
energy becomes even more subtler than basic form than consciousness.
no. So without
See,
awareness,
for you to be conscious, you need to have the energy to be up alive.
that is where we are coming to now. See, what it means is the consciousness is the one which gives the recognition of the energy.
Oh.
Without that recognition, how
Then
to
it's like which came first?
Ah.
The energy
So
came first.
in that sense, that's why Shiva Shakti, the fundamental reality is Shiva Shakti. The divine is Shiva Shakti. Is not two separate things. Shiva is Shakti, Shakti is Shiva. So consciousness and energy are two sides of the same coin. The fundamental reality of the divine. So the very source of energy is who you are. Just like how we say the very awareness is who you are. The very source of energy is who you are. As a mechanism, for the mechanism, prana seems to be coming and going. But prana comes, and where does it end? Where it seems to end?
From where did it come?
From where it is coming is next question. But where is it ending? It's ending in you.
We think that it's consumed. I consumed the prana.
Who is consuming? You think the body is
body. Then the body is consuming it.
Where is this arpana happening ultimately? Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi. Brahmagnav. Brahmanavatam. So all of this, that's why he said as a yajna happening for the Brahman. Yajna. It's all getting burnt in the Brahman. So it is in you that everything is appear to come and go. So it ends here and it starts here.
Okay. So
Anyway, that's the
yeah.
But in Shakti Darshana, the viewpoint is given for a sadhaka who still has a feeling I am separate. So therefore, the sadhaka has to do some so-called practice. And the practice pointer is, which is correct pointer. This mechanism receives prana from multiple sources. So, and the statement generally is made as, I am receiving prana from multiple sources. So now, which means what? I have become only this. So therefore, for such a statement that something is outside of that, and that outside is coming in. So therefore, there is a prana shakti that comes into me, is how the statement is made.
So then if I go back to that question, then how do you define this, like this much calories needed, this much food you eat?
That is another see, when you look at the mechanism, seems to function based on certain input-output parameters. At the end of the day, you can define anything in life when a certain input and certain observable output is created, right? Then only you can say, oh, this functions like this. So that is how you and I put a bracket. That is how you and I say, okay, if I let's say throw stone into a water surface, serene water surface, ripples happen. So it is a input, and the observable output is what you and I are defining all the time. What is that you and I are defining there? Okay, if there is a serene water surface, and if I throw stone, then ripples happen. So there is a boundary condition also. What is the boundary condition? Water has to be already there in a container or in some kind of a container, and it has to be serene for it to be observable completely. Right? So, and then you throw. So like that, it's a viewpoint of some function happening and your ability to describe that function. But the viewpoint of reality, Vedanta, what it teaches you is, this functional reality is there, correct? But what is the overall connection of this reality? What is this container? What is this water? All of this is one unified reality. But because you and I, through our mind, put a bracket, we see only that particular functionality, and we get into a confusion that is the only thing, and there is others. Because when you put a bracket, there's a separation. Is this making sense?
Calories and the amount of food we eat is all for you and me, Sarananji. Jnanis and sadhus don't just eat a fruit or so, that's it. We are the ones who think too much about calories.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to go towards then. If all that is prana is what is needed, and if it comes from breathing and water and food, which Vijay is saying, like basic food, then what is making me think that I have to eat so much?
Because
No,
this
as per
mechanism.
study,
Go ahead.
what we are eating is too much. That is actually not required at all. The amount of food we eat, no, it's actually somewhere around more than 50%, I think. I don't have the exact number. The amount of food humans eat is way too much than what is required for our body. Science has proved that. It's not at all required. But we are overeating. It's not the need, it's the greed that we are getting into.
So Sarananji, the mechanism still requires various kinds of nourishments. See, so please never let us get mixed up between the driver and the car. So the car still requires maintenance, upkeep, fuel, everything is needed for the car. But the point is, you are not the car. You are the
Yeah,
driver.
that is clear.
Okay. So the question, therefore, is, does it mean that suddenly, okay, you become you recognize the reality? Does it mean that the car, the vehicle, no more requires upkeep? No,
Yeah, no, that requires. That's fine.
Yeah.
But the understanding of the upkeep of the vehicle, there is a problem. There is a problem.
That is there. That is there. That is where, the point that Shubhaji made. There's a tendency to think that, okay, I have to eat these many calories. Again, from where that thought is coming? Because of something that I have read or heard or seen somewhere. Somebody, comes and talks about nutrition. These many carbohydrates, this much of protein.
Fat is also needed. Protein is also needed.
Nothing wrong. See, again, when I have a petrol car, somebody is coming and saying, look, this is the right kind of petrol. Petrol has various variants. When they crack the crude oil, you create petrol in various levels. There is very pure petrol which goes into airplane, right? So depending upon the type of the engine, the type of the fuel is also to be modified. So that is the reality. There's nothing wrong with it, but it is a reality for the instrument. So that's why, the boundary conditions are very important. Given I'm operating a airplane, I need this kind of a fuel. Given I'm operating a car, I need this fuel. Given I'm operating a lorry, I need this fuel. So that is all still correct statements. That is what is called as a functional reality, or the transactional reality, or a reality for a boundary condition. Okay. Whereas but this reality is a time and space bound reality. It is real for that particular instance or that particular object. And what Vedanta is teaching you and me is that time and space is not for you, the real you. Time and space itself is coming and going in you. So that is the transcendental reality. So at any point of time, you have this transcendental reality and a so-called operational reality. Operational reality is time-space bound. So you and I have to recognize what is the right way to upkeep this body. So therefore, that is where the question is very valid, that, okay, is it really necessary that I have to look at my food in terms of calories? Or what is the right way? So that is where, I am willing to do a lot of experiments on myself. If that mindset comes in, you yourself will start figuring out. Okay, so for example, okay, imagine, you are looking at what time of the day you are very productive, where, you're able to get the best ideas. And how do you work? So each one of us have a different pattern of working, right? So some of us may be very active and very sharp early in the morning. Some of us may be late in the night. Some of us may be in the afternoon. So there may be different, also maybe some of us may be when we are talking to others. Some of us may be when I'm simply sitting and closing my eyes. Some of us may be when I'm writing. Some of us may be when I'm taking bath. So like that, each one of us may have felt, okay, this is where, I get great insights, or I have the right clarity. Like that, it may be there. So according to that, you are going to be functioning. But now, is that the only reality? That is because this body and mind has been trained to function like that. So imagine, one time at 4 o'clock in the morning, you had a great insight, and you thought that, okay, 4 o'clock in the morning is the best time. So, and you cultivated that practice now. That is what has now become a deep samskara. For you now, waking at 4 o'clock is where, I'm going to be very active. But there are many others who seem to be nocturnal, who seem to also produce equally good work in the so-called middle of the night. Yeah. So therefore it begins as some kind of a small experience. Then it is augmented by our repetition. And that now becomes a deep samskara and vasana. So this is the reality of how the body and mind are trained. So Vedanta is helping you to recognize that all of this it is not to negate any of this. It's all very valid, still relevant practices. But it is giving you now a higher plane to view all of this from. It used to be that, 4 o'clock is the only way. From that kind of a very stiff kind of a look, feel the nature of the statement. 4 o'clock is the only way. You have to eat only this food. From that kind of a stiffness to, this food works. By the way, this food also works. By the way, this time also works. There is a recognition and acceptance and accommodation of many other diverse viewpoints. Because the stiffness was caused by me. That me was very stiff. And that me has now become relaxed.
Yeah. But the me is also continuously gets challenged by society. Shivaji was saying, right? We overeat. If you try to consciously, try to eat, let's say as a guest in someone's house, what are you eating? This much only. You have to eat well. You have to eat more. You have to eat well.
Like you rightly said, in the beginning, all these friends come so that we recognize certain patterns in our own thinking, in our own mind, right? So now is a time to reflect. Okay, so when they say, how am I responding? They say what they say. See, in life, around me sounds happen. There is no way to stop the sound. Even when I close my eyes, sounds are coming. There is no way to stop the sound. Sounds are happening. But
how do I continue to
responding
in the state?
So therefore, those sounds are important to so-called come and disturb my own notion that, I'm settled. So that's the whole continuous journey.
Sahaj Samadhi state.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to go back to this prana thing again.
Yeah.
You said pranic food. Right?
Yeah.
At the end, what it looks like is I can definitely feel that hunger. Okay. And I put this CGM, continuous glucose monitoring, to understand what happens. And I could see that like the glucose level drops. Okay. And that aligns with that real like severe hunger state where like you now you want to eat. And then like whatever food I put, it gets converted to energy and then like it goes up. And then like you are able to continue.
Yeah.
So what is the difference then this pranic food that you are saying?
Yeah.
Between pranic food.
So it's like different grades of fuel, have different kinds of impact on the engine. Say, as an example, you can take kerosene also and burn it in a petrol engine. When you use kerosene to burn it in a petrol engine, it leaves lot of residues
Mm.
that the engine gets, let's say, out of service in a relatively shorter time. So what was designed for, let's say, for example, 10 years may last only for 6 years. If you continuously burn kerosene in that vehicle. That's the difference, okay, between that different kinds of inputs through which you and I receive energy. So when we take energy from, let's say, cooked food, depending upon, so essentially at the end of the day, there is certain mixture of different qualities. See, what is food fundamentally? Fundamentally, when you look at food, it gets digested. And it gets digested and it leaves a certain impression, right?
But
What
then
impression it is?
it leaves something and it also gives energy, prana.
Yeah, so that
It's like the coal. You put coal in the
impression is also energy. It is like different. Impression is also energy. At the end of the day, everything is energy. See, matter is energy. Energy is matter. So
yeah.
right. It is not. Many times we tend to think of, oh, this is matter. This is energy. Matter is energy. Energy is matter. Energy only appears as matter. And
energy in packed form may look like matter, and when the matter is broken, it releases energy gets released.
Every moment is energy only. It is simply energy only. Even now, what is appearing as your body, by your this eye, you see this as solid matter. But if you had an electron microscope, very powerful
vibrating
atoms,
atoms.
this is simply nothing but energy in a state of vibration at this moment also. At this moment also, what we call as life is nothing but energy. And as you go deeper and deeper, that last aspect is not recognizable. Did I show a video of zooming into a strand of hair in this group?
No, I haven't seen.
Okay.
No, sir.
No? Okay, let me just show that video. So let us continue our discussion. So this video is going to take you inside a hair, a strand of hair. Yeah. So let's see this and then discuss.
Vijay,
Yes.
You cannot have the video, right, in the recording. You will have to remove it.
This video it allows. This video it allows.
Is it?
Yeah. So I already did it with the Gita children, and I uploaded that video. It allowed.
Hari Om Rupaji.
Hari Om Rupaji. Okay.
Wow.
This is what is even now. What appears solid, as you zoom in, the beauty is, as you go deeper, you cannot even see energy. There's nothing to see. See, they captured some nucleus. So beyond that, it is all going into the subatomic particles realm.
Yeah.
In the subatomic particles, there is nothing to capture.
Nothing to capture. No?
So it is something
It can keep going infinitely like this if you keep.
speaking, but it is something that seems to kind of, in a certain level of vibration, appears as something.
Mm, mm,
It is like the magician, taking some, let's say, a good magician, takes a pack of cards and makes it immediately looks like a fan, and he makes it look like a harmonium. So it's like uh, you take something and then you suddenly make it appear like something else. Or sometimes you have these good artists who suddenly within half a second, they draw one human or draw one tiger with the same 2 3 lines. Or another example could be you have a lump of clay, and a good person who can play with that lump of clay can make a cat, mouse, dog, human part, so many things in the same lump of clay.
mm,
They just do some rearrangement and suddenly appears something else, suddenly something else, something else, something else. So but that fundamental matter, that fundamental object is that only one thing.
Yeah.
And when you and I refer to it as matter, we are making it feel as if like, okay, it is something that has no quality of its own other than it is available for somebody else to manipulate. That is the impression that we get. See, when we talk about mud, it simply lies, and it is the kumbhara who has to take, the potter who has to take that mud, and he has to turn, right? But here, that's the uh, mistake in their final reality. There is no separate kumbhara and the mud. There is no potter and the mud. Both the material and the one who is doing is the same divine. Because there is nothing else. It is not like somebody called divine is taking something called as matter and making it all happen like this. So that's why that consciousness is appearing as this world. That consciousness is energy, and in the form of energy, it appears in so many forms. And that is nothing but that consciousness only, that divine consciousness only. So there is no two. That's why the dream analogy. All the characters appear to be there. They all have been given prana. In the dream, they all have prana. No doubt. They all function. No doubt. From where are they getting that prana?
From where?
Because there's only the dreamer. So the only possible answer the waker can give is it's in the dreamer.
No. The functional reality is so strong that it's very like this. It's very difficult to see beyond what it is.
No,
Right?
no doubt. And that's why Sri Krishna, he has got all our questions. And he has answered, Mama Maya Duratyaya.
Mm.
It's extremely difficult to come out of my this illusion, my illusion power. Daivi hesha gunamai, mama maya duratyaya, mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. So the only step is, therefore, see, this is where the functional reality operates.
Mm-hmm.
This picture, the left side of the picture represents the functional reality, the three gunas. But this is who you are. But when I get caught up in any of this, then this is how I feel. So the only way to really become free is by continuously contemplating on the Jnana of the Sadguru and by Bhakti. Bhakti means, in this case, see, it's like all these illusions, no? For example, which side of picture is darker?
Right side.
Right side. It appears so, right?
Yeah.
It's the same line. Just because there is a dark background, it appears to be brighter or darker.
Darker.
It is not indeed. It just appears to be like this. So what happened there? Somewhere my mind made up this reality, that this is darker. It is not reality, but my mind made up that reality. Or, this we have seen many a times, the magic of the movie. So it's one very important thing to realize. Let's just quickly watch this, and then we can once again understand.
More than 70 million people in the United States go to the movies each week to get away from their cares and to find entertainment, romance, and thrills on the magic screen. But only a few understand how the lights and shadows on the screen are controlled to make us see a motion picture. Motion pictures are based on an optical illusion. Just another case where seeing is believing. To understand how we see, let's turn the tables on the human eye and look at it instead of through it. The light reflected by any object we look at passes through the lens of the eye and is focused upside down on the sensitive surface called the retina. This retina passes the impression on to the optic nerve, which sends it to the brain, and we see it right side up. The reflection will stay on the retina as long as the object is in view. When we look away or take the object away, the images disappear. But notice that the image in the brain does not disappear immediately. It fades a fraction of a second after the object is removed. This slow fading is called persistence of vision. When we look at a moving object, we really see it in two places at once, where it is and where it was a fraction of a second before. Let's get out into a rainstorm for a good example. The water you seem to see falling in streams is really a lot of separate drops. Persistence of vision makes you see each raindrop in several places, over a distance of several inches. Let's look at a picture of a car and a picture of a moving landscape to show how the eye can make them seem to overlap. Let's run them on the screen, one after the other. We look at them for 2 seconds each, then for 1 second each. Now, faster and faster until we see the two pictures as if they were both one picture, another optical illusion. If your eyes didn't trick you into seeing the moving particles of fireworks as continuous streaks, you would see only sparks instead of streams of light. Persistence of vision is the principle which makes movies possible. A motion picture is really only a fast series of still photographs that overlap in your mind. Tracings of two of these still photographs, placed one on top of the other, show that each of the two photographs has caught the press in a slightly different position. Here is the way the first photograph looks. This is the way the second photograph looks. Now let's take the complete series in rapid succession. Faster. Persistence of vision makes us see two pictures at once. As a result, there is an appearance of motion. So motion pictures are just still pictures joined together on a long strip of film. The more still pictures we get while the action is going on, the smoother it looks. If we want to slow down the motion of something that goes fast, we speed up our camera and make, say, 5 times as many pictures per second. We have slow motion when they are shown on the screen at normal camera speed. Now, here is a motion picture film, 1,000 feet, 16,000 separate photographs. Let's tidy up this tangle of film by putting it on a reel. Now we'll build a projection machine to show the pictures on a screen. The film unwinds from the reel and rewinds onto another reel after it runs through the projector. To throw the picture on the screen, there is a bright light with a reflector behind it to send the light rays in the right direction, and a lens to concentrate the light. The film passes a hole or aperture which lets the light go through only one picture at a time. There is another lens to focus the pictures on the screen. By adjusting the lenses, the picture can be made sharp and clear. Let's start the machine moving. The still pictures blur because they're moving all the time. And this won't do it all. We need something to hold each picture still long enough for us to look at it in between the changes. When the film is started and stopped in rapid succession, the eye sees the changes being made, and the result is streaks instead of movies. So we need a shutter to cut off the light while every change of picture is being made, and let light through only while the film is standing still. Surprising as it seems, you never see a motion picture while it is actually moving. The only time a movie moves is when the shutter keeps you from seeing the change of picture. Then we see it just the way it looks in real life. Now we have the important parts of a projector for showing motion pictures on the screen. But let's change that drawing to an actual machine at work. This reel holds the supply of motion picture film, which passes through the projector at a speed of 90 feet each minute. Slots on this aperture plate guide the film past the narrow beam of light so that only one picture can be seen at a time. The adjustable lens, which gives us a clear, sharp picture on the screen, is placed in the path of the light rays after they pass through the film. Sprockets, which guide the film as well as start it and stop it, are placed in position to hold the film in proper position at all times. The shutter is placed behind the film to cut off the light at intervals while the pictures change. And now, When you see motion pictures, you get a true picture of what really happens. A picture that you could never see in any other way.
So what is that you and I are seeing ultimately?
A lot of still, lot of stills we are seeing.
So that's all, no? So lot of still photos, and the still photos are also not always there. That's the whole thing. Life is nothing but a stream of still photos, and the mind makes up many missing gaps,
Ah,
right? So what is appearing is not real. And then our mind fills the gaps. There was no photo in between
yeah.
photo.
that I've realized when you're expecting something and it has not happened, you go into making a lot of thoughts, fill it until that thing appears, and then like, oh, this is it. But then like I thought all those things.
Yeah.
The filler.
Especially for the physics of the movie, no? I think the number of frames per second is important. There is something my quotation may be wrong. Somewhere I think around 24 or 36 frames per second, right? So at that speed, no, you get that smooth flowing feeling, as if it seems to be happening in the so-called real life. But there also there is a mistake in the statement. The so-called real life is exactly this.
Exactly.
It is simply streaming in to you like all these stills. Because
Still,
at the end of the day,
second is still.
there is one still, one still, one still, and then your mind is filling up all the gaps. In fact, that's how pattern recognition works. See, there's a beautiful thing. Even in the blurriest of the photos, no, you somehow see your near ones. But if you really think about it, the photo is nothing but some area which is lit up, some area which is not lit up, some area with some kind of color scale, some area with no color scale. So if you were to put all the, if you look at a picture as, let's say, a simple 10 by 10 grid, and if you place all those grids next to each other, it is simply each grid, no, is nothing but some color is there, some color is not there, and some color is in some intensity. That's all a picture is really. But somehow your mind is able to make up all that other information. Oh, this is my son. This one we took when he was 3 years old. But now you try to do the same thing with the computer. Computer is just a simple color code of some intensity. That's all it is. So you are constantly filling in the details depending upon whatever. And that's how the illusion appears to be so real. Illusion is so real, appears to be real is the key word. It is not real. It appears to be real. The changes of the energy appear to create stuff, so many things which appears to be real, but is not real. That's why the great masters again and again say, Maya Mayamidam. So this world is a mithya. This world is a mithya. Because it is not a permanent reality. It appears to have a permanent reality. Appears to have, but is not. That is what you and I call as Maya. It appears to be there, but it's not really there. What is there? What is really there? Only you.
Yeah.
And that's why Krishna is saying, Arjuna, it is very difficult to overcome, but those who surrender to me. So that is why he is giving us the path of surrender. What is surrender? So this is how, the world and the body and the mind are like over because of the Maya. The awareness is clouded by this. Awareness is who you are. But the film is here by the Tamo and the Rajo and the Sattva. And on top of it, another layer of the film called the body. And that, again, another layer of the film called the world. And this continuously is changing. And this gives the illusion that something is changing. And the change and the changeless become kind of inseparable in that illusion. So how to overcome? Krishna says surrender. What is surrender? Jnana and Bhakti.
Then again, surrender. Duality comes.
No, in that journey, how do I come out? Someone is in this illusion, no? So for that, one who's caught up in the duality is necessary, is there. That is the current reality of life.
Yeah, current reality is, yeah.
Yeah, so therefore Jnana and Bhakti are important. Because Jnana alone will not solve. Bhakti, Jnana and Bhakti, surrender to me, Jnana and Bhakti. So because through the Jnana I clarify, through the Bhakti I surrender. And that is the one which helps you and me to come out of the illusion.
Now, when I get hungry and when I get tired, I will think about prana and all this.
So the important statement there is, the instrument is having a sensation called hunger.
Hunger.
You are not hungry. I am not hungry. Right now, the instrument has a sense, is giving the signal, and the signal is being interpreted in the same instrument through the knowledge that it has gathered in the form of the memory, and it is being interpreted as hunger. Small baby has the same sensation, doesn't know what the sensation is, simply cries. So the instinctive trigger of the same sensation in a small baby is crying. Look at the beauty of existence. If at all we were to think of God as a creator and as a very intelligent creator, for a moment, if you look at some wonderful things, my God, what a nice thing. Instinctively, it is by nature, it is hard-coded into every being. Small babies simply cry. And it's a very instinctive, it's a natural behavior. So hunger gets converted into cry. Only after some time, when the mind starts developing, that same baby learns that, okay, I don't have to cry. I can even call Amma or Amma or Amma. So all these things makes somebody called Amma come running to me and, oh, yo, Kanna, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Oh, I'm here to give you. So I also become a movie director. Oh, if I want my Amma to rush immediately, I have to change the intensity of my tone. That's all the trick is. And this lady comes running. Ta-dan, ta-dan. So now let me see how to play. So like that, one starts directing the movie.
Mm.
But then
It-
without realization that if you're you're directing the movie, sometimes you get caught up in your own creation.
Yeah, that's what I'm the director
That
and I'm the actor as well.
ah,
And I
that
forget
is the
then. And I forget.
that is the Bhavasagara. When the actor forgets that he is acting and he has become the role that he is acting.
Mm. Mm. Okay, good.
Deepaji, Shubhaji, Rupaji, anything to add, ask?
We are all in the state of Maya.
And
So no answer.
No, like that video showed, no, the zooming in video.
mm,
When you look at it this side, it appears stuff. It appears like stuff, matter.
yeah.
And when you deep dive, if at all you had that kind of a ability to deep dive through this eye,
Yeah.
you would have seen that reality now, here and now.
Mm.
Okay. It is just that it is not visible to this eye, but it is visible to your inner eye. So through your inner eye, at any moment, you can see the reality and the Maya. Or in other words, we can say the reality of the Maya.
Mm.
Reality of the Maya means that Maya means what? Something that is constantly changing. So there is something that is unchanging. But the changing is also because of the unchanging only, because there is no other source. So change and the no change, they are the one and the same. There is no Shiva and Shakti as two things.
Sir, for a sadhaka
Hmm.
is going through the path of bhakti, right? Or going through the path of jnana, right? Or is it like he has to get into this path in a way what suits him better and then get into the path of both bhakti and jnana later? What I mean to say is, see, for somebody, bhakti may be very naturally coming to them. For some other person, jnana may be natural to them. So, what will be the right path? Maybe ultimately the person who is taking bhakti will end up going to jnana path also, right?
Correct. So in the ultimate analysis, these are not two separate paths in that way of looking at it. Because right jnana leads to right bhakti. Shankaracharya ji, if let's say we take him as the epitome of jnana, if you look at his teachings, it is full of sharp logic. But look at his some of the most wonderful compositions, whether it is on the Mata Lalita or on the
Kanakadhara Stotra, all that, yeah.
right? So all of them are
so it is interconnected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when you realize that all is me is all, then it's just a sometimes you indulge in an apparent duality.
So when you start your path to get out of this Maya, so you can get into any path that suits you or connects with you.
There is a natural birds of the same feather flock together, no?
Yeah.
So see, initially, for example, imagine you enter a marriage hall, okay, and there are different places. You kind of there you go and sit there. Now, the question is, what made you go there and sit there? Why? There was chair here, chair there, but something makes you go there and sit there.
Somebody known to me was there.
Correct, no? And if let's say there are 10 such, known here, there, one of the known is who you gravitate towards.
Yes.
So maybe some comfort or maybe something that you want to discuss. So like that is how birds of the same feather flock together, right? So what it means? It means that you and I condition our mind, and it is a conditioning that is making you and I feel that, oh, that is a suitable person to sit with. Correct, no? Small baby, a newly born baby, take it to the same hall. Yeah, let's assume, that baby is now grown enough to see, okay? And that baby has no preference. I want to sit there or here or here or here. Nowhere. Even if you go and take it to the center stage where all these 1,000 people are seeing it, and if this baby is held, the baby may be simply watching everything. Has no sense of maybe say worry, tension or embarrassment, which somebody else may feel if suddenly they're put in front of 1,000 people and asked smile, they may suddenly become very nervous. So that is the difference. So as you and I run through life, you and I collect various films in our mind, which is nothing but the conditioning. So therefore, coming back to your fundamental question, which is the right path? That path which feels very natural to you. You feel nice. You feel, okay, time just goes. For some, sitting and doing japa or chanting Vishnu Sahasranama is a very invigorating practice. They say, I found my answers. I had fever. My fever went away. So it is very powerful practice, right? Because at the end of the day, your mind is where every change is happening. And the way your mind functions, you notice, and according to that, you cultivate. But what is important, Krishna is teaching, that as you go further, realize both are important. Jnana alone will not help. It's like there is a term, no? Shushka Vedanta. Shushka. Shushka means very dry, cut and dry. There is nothing in the world. Oh, no one is suffering. It's all an illusion. So I'll simply sit, right? So that feeling or that thought is coming out of a very dry understanding of Vedanta. That part of that statement is correct. But it is dry because in that there is no feeling of oneness with the other. There is still a very fine-grained duality, and that is why others are suffering. So a fully evolved will melt for the pain of the others. And that is why you see deep compassion in Sadgurus. Because there's compassion is not born out of, oh, I have to be compassionate thinking. Because it is a very natural feeling for a mother to feel for her child when the child is crying. There is no other way. It is simple. It is very existential. That compassion is existential. Existential means what? Not something that you learn through your experience of life. Existential means it is simply there. Just like how hunger is existential. Existential. It is fundamental nature of the fabric of reality in the form of life. So, therefore, Bhakti is a very natural outpouring for a true Jnani. However, in terms of the sadhaka, begin where it feels natural. Begin where it seems to bring more and more peace and joy, energy in your life. As it progresses, right circumstances will bring right inner clarity and bring the unity, because that is a constant evolution.
So yeah, I got it, sir. Whenever we understand all these things because we have been attending classes. But when somebody asks you that which would be the correct path, all I can say is that which you get connected easily, you can get into that path, right?
Yeah.
It starts. Oh, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Some of us say, see, doing all this puja, japa is all not for me. And Vedanta, I fall asleep. But I feel invigorated when I'm, some example. Okay.
Singing bhajans and all, people connect easily. Yeah.
No, while let's say cooking for others. Some people say, I don't know what to do, but you ask me to cook for some 10 people, suddenly I find some energy. Right? So some people feel that oneness when they're doing something of value to others. Right?
Seva.
Which is what is called a seva, right?
Seva, yeah.
That also purifies. So therefore, all these are purification mechanisms.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Deepaji, Rupaji, anything to add, ask?
Yes, sir. Jnana, Bhakti and all. I try to understand the knowledge that is given by Prabhuji in those Sadguru teachings groups. But more than that, I feel peaceful when I am doing something for others. So
Excellent.
as the time goes on, will I be able to understand the knowledge that is given? Because many of the messages I don't understand at all. Like a few messages related to Anthony Di Mello.
Yeah.
I don't understand a few what they
So
sent.
don't worry at all. Don't worry at all.
Yeah.
So the thing is, when you see a picture, as you are, let's say, for example, in a very distance, a mountain, and you're walking towards a mountain. From a distance, only few details are available, like a contour. Okay, I can see a mountain. But as you go a little more closer, maybe you can start noticing certain, there is a big rock boulder like this. Oh, there is a big hole like this. So something like that you will start noticing. So like that, it is a constant resolution, right? You are zooming in, zooming in, zooming in. What is important is these two, right faith and right knowledge. Have that inner bhakti towards your Sadguru. Have that faith that everything works out. Because that is the nature of the nature. See, a wave rises. It cannot stand. It has to become part of the ocean. That is the reality. For now, when it is in the upswell, it appears as if, will it ever merge back? But when you notice, however big the wave may be, it may be a tsunami, it has to merge back. Sound has to merge into silence. That is how it is. So therefore, your question, have no worries. Focus on that which makes you feel at peace, which makes you feel I am of value to somebody, which makes you feel I feel lively, energetic. When I do this, I am very joyful. You know the story of Giri, one of the Shishya of Shankaracharya, don't you?
Chotakacharya.
Chotakacharya, yeah. You know that story, Deepaji?
No, sir.
Okay, so are we all in a mood to watch one another video?
Anytime, Thotakacharya is a very good
Yeah,
story, sir.
yeah.
It's a miracle.
The first
Story.
time I watched it was the first time one is high impact.
It's a miracle story.
Yeah. And we are all waiting for that, right, Shivaji?
Yes, definitely, Saravnan. We are all waiting for that thing to happen to all of us.
Yes.
Yes.
And so we have to become like him.
I think traditional ebooks provide a really poor reading experience, and I knew that with the right server and I think traditional ebooks provide a really poor reading experience, and I knew that with the right server and full control.
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्।
सदाशिव शंकर से प्रारंभ होने वाली परंपरा, जिसके मध्य शंकराचार्य हैं और जो हमारे आचार्य पर्यंत चली आ रही है, उस गुरु परंपरा को मैं प्रणाम करता हूं।
पद्मपाद, मैं तुम्हारे मन में चल रहे चिंतन में बाधा डालूं?
डाली है तो कहो।
तुम्हारे नजदीक आऊं?
आओ।
बैठो।
बैठो।
मैं कुछ पूछूं, तुम झुंझलाओगे तो नहीं?
मैंने तुम पर झुंझलाना छोड़ दिया है। पूछो क्या पूछना है।
अथा तो ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा, इसका क्या अर्थ हुआ?
गिरी, गुरुदेव ने अभी 2 दिन पहले ही इसका अर्थ बताया था।
गुरुदेव ने बताया तो था, पर मेरी समझ में नहीं आया था।
तो सिर्फ मैं ही बचा हूं?
मेरी व्यथा समझो पद्मपाद भैया। देखो, सुरेश्वराचार्य से पूछ नहीं सकता, वे आयु में गुरुदेव से भी बड़े और गुरुदेव जैसे ही गूढ़ है, निरंतर वेदांत में डूबे हुए। और अस्तामलक से तो पूछना ही बेकार है, उसकी तो मुट्ठी में ब्रह्म, वो तो हमेशा ब्रह्म में लीन। अब बचे तुम मेरे बड़े भाई जैसे, इसलिए तुमसे तो पूछ ही सकता हूं ना।
कुछ पंक्तियां लिख लो, फिर मैं तुम्हें बुलाता हूं।
तुम एक ही पुस्तक बार बार लिखते रहते हो, पहले मुझे समझा दो फिर।
गिरी, कोई भी व्यक्ति एक ही पुस्तक बार बार नहीं लिखता। मैंने गुरुदेव लिखित ब्रह्म सूत्र भाष्य पर जो व्याख्या लिखी थी, उस पुस्तक को मेरे मामा ने ईर्ष्यावश जला दी थी। मेरे सौभाग्य से मैंने गुरुदेव को कुछ खंड पढ़कर सुनाए थे, और गुरुदेव ने अपनी स्मृति से वे सारे खंड मुझे फिर से सुना दिए। उन्हें ही लिख रहा हूँ। क्योंकि इसमें 5 अध्याय है, इसलिए पंचपादिका नाम रखा है इसका। बात समझ में आई?
गुरुदेव को इतना याद कैसे रहता है?
गिरी,
पद बात को लिखने दो और तुम्हें जो पूछना है मुझसे पूछो।
अब न जाने मेरा क्या होगा। कर आग्रे वस्ते लक्ष्मी, कर मध्य सरस्वती, कर मूले तो गोविंदा, प्रभाते कर दर्शन। पद्मपाद उठो, गुरुदेव उठ गए होंगे।
गिरी, तुमने अपने वस्त्र लिए या नहीं?
मैं भूल गया गुरुदेव।
नटी, गिरी ज्ञान में पद्मपाद, हस्तामलक और सुरेश्वराचार्य से बहुत पीछे था, पर अपने गुरुदेव की सेवा में सदैव तत्पर रहता था। दिन भर दौड़ दौड़ कर गुरु की सेवा करने का बहाना ढूंढता रहता।
गिरी महाराज, अभी मेरे पास समय है, जो पूछना है पूछ लो।
पद्मपाद स्वामी, अभी मेरे पास समय नहीं है। गुरुदेव भिक्षाटन से लौट रहे होंगे, मैं तुमसे बाद में बात करूंगा।
प्रणाम गुरुदेव।
तुमने भोजन कर लिया?
नहीं गुरुदेव।
गिरी, मैंने तुम्हें पहले भी कहा है, भोजन के लिए मेरी प्रतीक्षा मत किया करो।
गुरुदेव, मैं कल से आपका आदेश मानूंगा गुरुदेव।
तुमने कल भी यही कहा था।
जी गुरुदेव, क्षमा गुरुदेव। पर मैं क्या करूं गुरुदेव, मैं आपके पहले भोजन नहीं कर सकता।
मैं तेरे साथ हमेशा नहीं रहने वाला गिरी।
जी गुरुदेव।
फिर क्या करेगा?
आप हमेशा मेरे साथ रहेंगे गुरुदेव। चलो भैया हस्तामलक। गुरुदेव कुछ देर विश्राम करने चले गए। अब कुछ देर मैं बोलता रहूंगा और तुम सुनते रहोगे। अब एक तुम ही हो जिससे मैं अपने मन की बात कह सकता हूं। गुरुदेव की आज्ञा से सुरेश्वराचार्य कोई ना कोई भाष्य लिखते रहते हैं और पद्मपाद भी ज्ञान की परंपरा को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं। लेकिन तुम्हें गुरुदेव ने कुछ नहीं कहा, क्योंकि गुरुदेव मानते हैं कि तुम्हें ऐसे ही छोड़ दिया जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि तुम तो ब्रह्मलीन हो। अब बच गया मैं।
Your comfort is costing you 8 lakhs a month. Now sit with a second.
मुझे कुछ आता ही नहीं तो मैं लिखूंगा क्या? कैसे गुरुदेव के ज्ञान की परंपरा को आगे बढ़ाऊंगा? मूर्ख जो हूं। स्वामी, मैंने सुना है बचपन में तुम भी महामूर्ख थे। नहीं, यानी कि तुम महामूर्ख जैसे दिखते थे। ना खेलते, ना पढ़ते, ना लिखते, ना गुस्सा ही करते। और एक दिन तुमसे निराश तुम्हारे पिता तुम्हें गुरुदेव के पास ले आए, ये जानने के लिए कि तुम्हारा कुछ होगा भी या नहीं। और गुरुदेव ने तुम्हें देखते ही ताड़ लिया था कि यह मूर्ख दिखाई देने वाला मूर्ख नहीं है। और जब गुरुदेव ने तुमसे पूछा कि तुम कौन हो, तुमने देववाणी में कह दिया कि तुम सच्चित आनंद स्वरूप आत्मा हो। और तुमने गुरुदेव को आत्मा का सत्य ऐसे कह सुनाया था जैसे आंवले की तरह सत्य तुम्हारी मुट्ठी में। और गुरुदेव ने तुम्हें अपना शिष्य बना लिया, हस्तामलक। तुम सोच रहे होगे कि मैं तुम्हारी ही कहानी तुम्हें क्यों सुना रहा हूं। वह इसलिए कि अब यह कहानी ही मेरी आखिरी उम्मीद है। अगर यह कहानी सच है तो बस एक बार मुस्कुरा दो, मुझे विश्वास हो जाएगा कि कभी कोई महामूर्ख भी महाज्ञानी बन सकता है। क्या यह कहानी सच है? क्या यह कहानी झूठ है? सच झूठ दोनों नहीं।
गिरी,
आया आचार्य। जी आचार्य।
क्या कर रहे थे?
आचार्य, मैं हस्तामलक से पूछने गया था कि
क्या पूछने गए थे?
मैं यह पूछने गया था कि जब सत्य तुम्हारी मुट्ठी में आंवले की तरह है, तो फिर तुम गुरुदेव की कक्षा में बैठते क्यों?
क्या उत्तर दिया हस्तमलक ने?
वह तो तभी बोलते हैं जब उनकी इच्छा होती है, पर आप तो मुझे अभी बता सकते हैं।
देखो, उसे तंग मत किया करो और उसे अकेले ही रहने दिया करो।
आचार्य, मैं उसे तंग कहाँ करता हूँ?
वह गुरुदेव की कक्षा में इसलिए आता है कि वह गुरुदेव की वाणी सुन अपने अनुभवों की पड़ताल कर सके।
आचार्य, सच सच कहिएगा, मेरा कुछ हो सकता है?
गिरी, गुरु की कृपा हो तो कुछ भी हो सकता है।
न जाने गुरुदेव मुझ पर कृपा करेंगे भी या नहीं। पर आपने मुझे क्यों बुलाया था?
तुमसे थोड़ी स्याही मिलेगी?
मेरी सारी स्याही ले लीजिए, पर मुझे कुछ सिखा दीजिए।
कितनी बार तुझे कहा है मेरे पैरों को मत दबाया कर।
गुरुदेव, आपके पैरों को दबाता हूँ तो मेरे हाथों को अच्छा लगता है। ऐसा लगता है जैसे कोरे कागजों पर कलम चला रहा हूँ। सुरेश्वराचार्य और पद्मपाद तो दिन भर कलम चलाते रहते हैं। मुझसे मेरा ये सुख तो ना छीनिए।
अच्छा अच्छा, जा अब सो जा।
पद्मपाद,
क्या है गिरी?
मैंने सुना है एक बार काशी में तुम गंगा तट पर कपड़े धो रहे थे और गुरुदेव दूसरे किनारे पर थे।
हाँ तो?
और गुरुदेव ने तुम्हें पुकारा तो तुम बिना कुछ सोचे समझे ही गंगा के जल में ही दौड़ने लगे। तब गुरुदेव की कृपा से तुम्हारे पैरों के नीचे कमल उगाए और तुमने गंगा पार कर ली। क्या गुरु कृपा से सचमुच ऐसा हो सकता है?
मुझे नींद आ रही है, मुझे सोने दो।
आचार्य, मुझे नींद नहीं आ रही।
अपने इष्ट का नाम जपते रहो, नींद आ जाएगी।
अपनी पराजय की कहानी सुनाइए ना।
एक ही कहानी कितनी बार सुनेगा? सो जा।
हर माँ अपने बच्चे को एक ही कहानी तो बार बार सुनाती है। गुरुदेव के विजय की कहानी सुन के मन को अच्छा लगता है। सुनाइए ना।
कहाँ से?
श्री मंडन मिश्र से।
अच्छा सुन। बात उन दिनों की है जब सन्यास लेने से पहले मैं मंडन मिश्र हुआ करता था। एक दिन अचानक भगवतपाद आदि शंकर अपने शिष्यों के साथ महिष्मतिपुर में मेरे घर पर प्रकट हुए। उस दिन घर में श्राद्ध के भोज का आयोजन था। भारती, भगवतपाद शंकराचार्य ने मुझे शास्त्रार्थ के लिए चुनौती दी है।
ओह, इसलिए दोपहर को आप दोनों के बीच ब्रह्मभोज के समय बात हो रही थी। मुझे लगा कोई सन्यासी आया है भिक्षा के लिए।
प्रारंभ में मुझे भी ऐसा ही लग रहा था।
पर भगवतपाद आपसे ही क्यों शास्त्रार्थ करना चाहते हैं?
भगवतपाद शंकर मेरे आचार्य कुमारिल भट्ट से शास्त्रार्थ करना चाहते थे।
क्यों?
भगवतपाद शंकर मेरे आचार्य के ईश्वर संबंधी मत का खंडन करना चाहते हैं। आचार्य ने उन्हें मेरे पास भेजा।
ओह, आपने चुनौती स्वीकार कर ली?
हाँ, और हम दोनों के बीच यह भी तय हुआ है कि जो भी हारेगा वह जीतने वाले का शिष्य बनेगा।
यानी आप हारे तो आपको सन्यास लेना होगा, और आचार्य शंकर हारे तो आपके दास।
हाँ।
और निर्णायक कौन होगा?
तुम।
मैं?
भगवतपाद ने ही तुम्हारा नाम सुझाया है।
पर आप दोनों के शास्त्रार्थ को तो कई दिन लग सकते हैं। मैं घर के सारे काम छोड़ निर्णायक कैसे बनूं?
आचार्य शंकर को तुम्हारे ज्ञान और निष्पक्षता पर पूरा विश्वास है। शास्त्रार्थ 18 दिनों तक चला। देवी उभय भारती ने हम दोनों के गले में फूलों की एक एक माला डाल दी थी। देवी बीच बीच में अपना गृह कार्य करती और 18वें दिन उन्होंने मेरे गले में पड़ी मुरझाई फूल की माला को देख मुझे पराजित घोषित कर दिया। हारने के उद्वेग से मेरे शरीर की उष्मा से मेरे गले में पड़े माला के फूल मुरझा गए थे, पर भगवत पाद शांत थे, किसी गहरे समुद्र की तरह। मैं सचमुच हार गया था, पर उस हार में भी मेरी विजय हुई थी। उस दिन शास्त्रार्थ में हारकर मैंने एक महान गुरु को पाया था। मुझ पर भगवत पाद की कृपा हुई थी।
महर्षि वशिष्ठ के शिष्य महर्षि शक्ति, शक्ति के पराशर, पराशर के वेद व्यास, वेद व्यास के शुकदेव, शुकदेव के गौड़पाद, गौड़पाद के गोविंद भगवत पाद, गोविंद भगवत पाद के शिष्याचार्य शंकर।
क्या हुआ गिरी?
लगता है गुरुदेव मुझे पुकार रहे थे।
कोई तुम्हें नहीं पुकार रहा गिरी।
नहीं,
सो जाओ।
मुझे गुरुदेव के कक्ष के बाहर ही जाकर सोना चाहिए। न जाने कब मुझे पुकार दे।
गिरी दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है।
नदी तट पर गया है।
तो उसके लौट आने तक हम प्रतीक्षा करते हैं।
मैं भगवत पाद के ज्ञान की परंपरा को कैसे आगे बढ़ा पाऊंगा? कैसे गुरुदेव का ऋण उतार पाऊंगा? गुरुदेव मुझे बुद्धि दो, मुझे बुद्धि दो गुरुदेव।
गुरुदेव, हम क्यों गिरी की प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हैं? उससे कुछ नहीं होने वाला। गिरी को शिक्षा देना वैसा ही है जैसे कोई दीवारों को शिक्षा दे। गिरी इन दीवारों से बेहतर नहीं है।
पद्मपाद, हम गिरी की प्रतीक्षा करेंगे।
गिरी, लो, बुद्धि लो, ज्ञान लो।
आचार्य, आचार्य,
विदिताखिल शास्त्र सुधा जलधे महितोपनिषत् कथितार्थ निधे हृदये कलये विमलं चरणं भव शंकर देशिक मे शरणं करुणावरुणालय पालय मां भवसागर दुःख विदून हृदं रचयाखिल दर्शन तत्त्वविदं भव शंकर देशिक मे शरणम्।
हे शास्त्रों के अमृत सागर, उपनिषदों में कथित ज्ञान के भंडार, मैं अपने हृदय में आपके चरण कमलों पर ध्यान करता हूं। हे आचार्य शंकर, मुझे अपनी शरण में लो।
और उसी क्षण गिरी ने जिस छंद को कठिन माना जाता है, उस तोटक छंद में अपने गुरु की चरण वंदना में 8 पदों की रचना की। लेकिन ये कैसे हुआ सूत्रधार?
नटी, गुरु कृपा सिर्फ उस पर ही नहीं होती जो महान ज्ञानी है, बल्कि उस पर भी होती है जो निर्मल मन से गुरु चरणों की सेवा करता है। पद्मपाद की बातों से आहत हो शंकराचार्य ने अपने ज्ञान का अलौकिक अंश गिरी को दिया, और उस दिन से गिरी तोटकाचार्य के नाम से जाने जाने लगे, क्योंकि उन्होंने अपनी पहली रचना तोटक छंद में की थी।
कुछ साल पहले हाईवे पर एक गाय के सड़क पार करते समय उसका एक हादसा हो गया।
आओ तोटकाचार्य।
और हम सभी का यह कर्तव्य है कि हमने जो अपने गुरुओं से पाया उसे एक पीढ़ी से दूसरी पीढ़ी तक तन मन धन से पहुंचाएं। गंगा जी की भांति इस ज्ञान का प्रवाह गुरु परंपरा द्वारा बहता रहा है और बहता ही रहेगा।
कृतज्ञताया च विधिस्थिता मे वक्तुं न शक्या खलु यत्ततोऽपि गुरो प्रसीद कृपया विधेहि त्वत्पाद भक्तिं परमानुरक्तिं त्वत्पाद भक्तिं परमानुरक्तिं।
मेरे हृदय की कृतज्ञता मेरे विपुल प्रयत्नों से भी मैं नहीं कह सकता। हे गुरु, मुझ पर अनुग्रह करें और मुझे आपके चरणों की परम प्रेम रूपी भक्ति प्रदान करें।
यस्य प्रसादात् भवमङ्गलार्था प्रसूत गङ्गोपनिषत् विशुद्धा समर्पयामो गुरुचिन्मयाय।
Anything you want to share, Deepa ji?
Sir, actually we have won this. I actually forgot. Even earlier we have won this. It was good, sir.
Shraddha Saburi. All right. Anything else? Anyone? Okay. If there is nothing else, let's conclude our today's session. Hari Om.